कोर कमांडर कराची लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल सजाद गनी जो इससे कबल होने वाला ऑपरेशन की भी कमांड कर रहे थे, अब से चंद लम्हे पहले जो है वो एसएफ हेडक्वार्टर पहुंचे हैं, जहां पर वो कैंप में जो उनके जहां पर ये हमला किया गया है वहां पहुंचे हैं। कोर कमांडर कराची के हमरा आला अफसरान भी मौजूद है। इस वक्त एक इजलास जारी है जिसमें तमाम चीजों का जायजा लिया जा रहा है। एसएफ के आला हुकाम और रेंजर्स के आला हुकाम उन्हें ब्रीफ कर रहे हैं कि इस किस्म का कोई हमला नहीं किया गया, ये गलतफहमी का नतीजा है। कोर कमांडर कराची का जनरल राहिल शरीफ आर्मी चीफ से भी राब्ता हुआ है, उन्होंने सारी सूरत हाल से राहिल शरीफ को भी जो है आगाह कर दिया है। जी
ठीक है एसएम शकील, आप ये बता रहे हैं कि इस वक्त एक आला सतही इजलास भी जारी है।
जी, इस वक्त आला सतही इजलास कोर कमांडर और दीगर फोर्सेस के जो लोग ऑपरेशन में हिस्सा ले रहे हैं उनके आला अफसरान के दरमियान इजलास हो रहा है, जिसमें उन्हें कोर कमांडर को ब्रीफ किया गया है। कोर कमांडर ने इस सारी सूरत हाल के बाद आर्मी चीफ को बराह रास्त टेलीफोनिक राब्ता करके उन्हें तमाम तर सूरत हाल से आगाह किया है, और जिसमें ज्यादातर जो आला अफसरान है उनका कहना था कि ये गलत फहमी का नतीजा है, इस किस्म का कोई हमला नहीं किया गया। जबकि एएसएफ के डिप्टी डायरेक्टर इंटेलिजेंस ने इस बात की तस्दीक की थी आरवाई पर कि ये हमला किया गया है। जी
अच्छा एसएम शकील, ये बताइएगा कि कुछ कहा जा रहा है कि कब तक इस इलाके को मुकम्मल तौर पर क्लियर करा दिया जाएगा?
देखिए, इस इलाके में जो पहलवान गोट है इसके अतराफ में खासे खतरात हैं और बड़े अरसे से जो है यहाँ पर सिक्योरिटी का कोई मजबूत इंतजाम नहीं है और ना ही पुलिस रेंजर से कोई सिक्योरिटी का इंतजाम किया। जबकि एएसएफ की जो चौकियां बनी हुई हैं उनमें एक या दो एहलकार जो उनके मौजूद होते हैं और वो खासे दूर दूर वाक़ हैं। तो इस सारी सूरत हाल में इस एरिया को जो है बिल्कुल कवर करना पड़ेगा और वहाँ उसके बाहर जो पहलवान गोट का इलाका है वहाँ
Well, the firing seems to have ceased as of now. However, the officials are unwilling to give any statement saying that it's all over, considering that it's almost after an hour of the firing started that there seems to be a bit of peace now. The officials still very, very cautious. It is believed that 3 to 4 terrorists have entered the airport security force camp and have started firing. In fact, the gun battle raged for close to an hour. It was heard that there were bullets exchanged from both ends. Whether there were any casualties, any injuries in the process is not clear at this point in time. But for now, the firing has ceased.
डीजी रेंजर्स ने जब वज़ीर दाखिला को फोन किया तो उनका ये कहना था कि इलाका क्लियर है। फ्लाइट ऑपरेशन बहाल कर दिया गया है एक दफा फिर और कराची एयरपोर्ट पर फजाई ऑपरेशन।
Moving on now, the golf club is facing a hefty fine of 70 lakh rupees from Bescom for allegedly flouting rules for power consumption. The golf club had stated that they have a water treatment chamber of 1999 for which they had been consuming electricity under the H22A group. But turns out that the commercial organizations do not fall under this group. Golf club comes under the HT2B group. Though they use sewage water, it's all for commercial purpose. And now the golf club is facing a hefty fine of 70 lakh rupees. The golf club is one of the elite clubs of Bengaluru, with the who's who of Bengaluru wanting to be part of it or being part of it already. And this is the document that goes on to prove the irregularity. In fact, let's once again tell our viewers as to what exactly this irregularity is. The golf club had stated that they have a water treatment chamber in 1999 for which they had been consuming electricity under the HT2A group. But turns out that commercial organizations come under the HT2B group. Let's listen to what Bescom Chief Executive Engineer had to say in this regard.
There are so many classifications of tariff. You know that, I think. HT, LT. Otherly HT 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 5. 5 is the highest tariff. That is temporary power supply on HT basis. So this tariff actually this golf club is a club. It has to be considered as a commercial activity. So commercial andre HT2B tariff irbeku. Somehow our correspondence nalli HT2A ge convert aaytu, treating that it is a sewage treatment plant. Okay, sewage treatment, they are using sewage water. It is not a sewage treatment plant. In my interpretation, they are using the sewage water and treating it and utilizing for their works, such as lawn spraying, everything. And the total purpose of the activity is commercial. Unlike other clubs, this is also a club. Somehow, some lapse either from the department might have happened or from the consumer might have happened. And we have sent our report, along with our report, a bill to the subdivision. Thereby, in W4 subdivision, they will reissue this bill to the consumer.
My colleague Varghese joins us with more details on this. Well, Varghese, what is this controversy all about?
Well, it is with regards to this particular connections that have been taken, especially in the connection that has been taken for the water treatment chamber has been from a different connection that in fact does not is priced quite differently, and it has come to light that this particular group, in fact, the entire purpose of the water chamber is to use for commercial purposes. Therefore, the entire thing has to be filed under the HT2B group. What happened, Nishita, was like there was a complaint that was filed last month, and the Electricity Board authorities raided the place and have now come to know come to a conclusion after the raid and investigating that there was no clear documents with regard to the organization in taking this particular connection for their water chamber, and that it has said that at present, if you look at the difference between the amount that has to be charged between the H2TB and the H2TA group, the kind of revenue loss is estimated to be around 70,56,167 rupees for the BESCOM in the last 15 years. So now what they've done is they have in fact served a notice and a fine with regard by BESCOM and stated that if further action will be taken appropriately with regards to this, Nishita.
And certainly this is bad news for the golf club. It is one of the more elite clubs in Bengaluru. So any response from their end as yet?
Well, at present there's no response coming in from the golf club because they're still trying to figure out how to handle this issue at present. But the factor remains that it was a wrong connection that was taken, and the BESCOM, what they are saying is that there is a difference in amount, and that they have been enjoying the power lines that was on a subsidized connection compared to for the commercial purposes. So it has in fact made loss around 70 lakhs for the BESCOM, and therefore it needs to be addressed immediately as possible. Nishita.
Right, Varghese, thank you for joining us with all those details. Well, there we have it. The golf club now faces a fine of 70 lakh rupees from BESCOM. And moving on now, a well-known writer and researcher, Kalaburgi, has stirred on its nest with his controversial statement. The BJP youth wing members staged a protest near Maurya Circle against his statement and demanded that he be arrested immediately. Well, in fact, he had gone on to state, and I quote, "Passing urine on God's idols is not wrong, or it is not a crime. It is only a stone idol. Nothing will happen to those who do such an act," unquote. And this statement came from a famed researcher and writer M.M. Kalaburgi, who is also the former Kannada University Vice-Chancellor. This he said while in a seminar while addressing a gathering regarding the anti-superstition law. He also said, and I quote, "We have been ruled by people of various religions, including Islam, Christianity and Buddhism in the past. This has led to many superstitions and beliefs among us." He also quoted U.R. Ananthamurthy by recollecting an incident where a villager asked URA not to go near an idol of the local deity, else it would curse him, but URA reportedly went and even urinated on that idol. Kalaburgi claimed that nothing happened to him. He also questioned Modi, asking him why the Prime Minister is cleaning up only river Ganga, whereas there are other rivers that require cleanup as well. Let's listen to what the author had to say in this regard.
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಭವನದೊಳಗೆ ಮೂಢನಂಬಿಕೆ ಕುರಿತು ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ ಸಂಕಿರಣ ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು. ಮೂಢನಂಬಿಕೆ ಅಂದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ದೇವತೆಗಳ ಮೂರ್ತಿ ಪೂಜೆವೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತಾವೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಆ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಭವನದೊಳಗೆ ಮೂಢನಂಬಿಕೆ ಕುರಿತಿರುವಂಥ ಈ ವಿಚಾರ ಸಂಕಿರಣ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ನಿರಾಕಾರ ದೇವರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಾಕಾರ ದೇವರಾಗಿ ಕಲ್ಪಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇ ಆದರೆ ಕಲ್ಪಿಸಿಕೊಂಡ ಕಾರಣ ಆ ಸಾಕಾರ ದೇವತೆಗಳ ಸುತ್ತ ಮೂಢನಂಬಿಕೆಗಳು ಬೆಳೆದು ಬಂದಾವ. ಕಲ್ಲು ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆಯಿಂದ ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಿದಂಥ ಈ ಸಾಕಾರ ದೇವತೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಕಾಡುವ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಯುವ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ಲವೋ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅನಂತಮೂರ್ತಿ ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಊರೊಳಗೆ ಅಡವಿಯೊಳಗಿರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕಲ್ಲು ದೇವರಿತ್ತಂತೆ. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಗುಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಮೂತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಂದೆ. 2-3 ದಿವಸವರೆಗೂ ನನಗೆ ದೇವರು ಕಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸಿತ್ತು. ದೇವರು ಕಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವು ಇಂಥ ದೇವತೆಗಳು ಕಾಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಯುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಬರ್ದಾರ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಾರ ಅದು ತಮ್ಮ ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಬೆತ್ತಲೆ ಪೂಜೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವ ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಬರ್ದಾರ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನೆ ಸಭೆಯೊಳಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಇಂಥ ಪ್ರಯೋಗಗಳು ಇವರೇನು ಮೂತ್ರ ವಿಸರ್ಜನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥ ಪ್ರಯೋಗಗಳು ಬೇಕೇ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಕೂಡದ ಅರ್ಥದೊಳಗೆ ನಾನು ಮಾತನಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದು ಅಂದರೆ ಅನಂತಮೂರ್ತಿಯ ಬರವಣಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ನಾನು ಸಭೆಯ ಗಮನಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದಿದ್ದೇನೆ ವಿನಃ ದೇವರನ್ನು ನಂಬುವ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ನಾನು ಆಸ್ತಿಕ ಮನುಷ್ಯ. ನಾನು ದೇವರ ಮೇಲೆ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಮೇಲೆ.
Well, that was Dr. M.M. Murthy, who was quick to do a U-turn following the protest. He said that these were not his words. In fact, he did not go on to state that people can urinate on idols and that it is not a crime to do so, but he merely quoted what literature U.R. Anantamurthy had said. And meanwhile, the Bengaluru police has finally arrested the accused in connection with the techie rape case of Electronic City. The incident took place on late Thursday night when the victim was raped in her own PG accommodation. The accused, who has now been arrested, has been identified as 28-year-old Shivarama Gowda. The commissioner, Raghavendra Oratkar, has also confirmed the news of his arrest. Well, the incident had shocked the entire city. A woman IT professional from Jharkhand was allegedly raped in her own PG accommodation on Thursday night at knife point. How the man managed to gain entry into the door that was locked is not clear at the moment. Based on the description given by the victim, the accused has now been arrested, but the victim is yet to identify him, and whether he is the culprit is yet to be cleared. And moving on now, protests erupted against S.R. Hiremat in Chikmagaluru. They alleged that the whistleblower had submitted fake documents in connection with the Kalasa Inam land scam. The locals staged a dharna and also attempted to immolate themselves in front of the DC's office. Well, in fact, they gherawed the DC's office and demanded justice. The Forest Department had alleged that the land was encroached by the locals and a PIL in this regard was filed by S.R. Hiremat. The High Court took cognizance of the case and ordered evacuation of the area and asked the residents to immediately vacate the area, after which they decided to stage a protest. These were the dramatic scenes witnessed right outside the DC's office in Chikmagaluru as residents who have reportedly been asked to vacate their lands by the High Court based on a petition filed by the Forest Department as well as S.R. Hiremat took to the streets to protest against the move. They even burnt posters of S.R. Hiremat in protest.